Today, the Holliston Historical Society is having its annual holiday open house. The rooms at the Asa Whiten House are full of holiday traditions, historical memories, and beautiful things for the community to enjoy. Let's find out what's in store for us. Nancy, the house looks beautiful. How did this come about?
Well, we are so grateful to our partners, the Holliston Garden Club. They are having their annual holiday get-together here, and so they offered to decorate the house so that we could also use it for our open house, so we're really delighted.
So this is an open house for the Historical Society, and also the Garden Club is participating, and so they're responsible for some of these fantastic displays that we're seeing. But I understand a lot of history is here too, so why don't we tell me about this tree that we're standing in front of and what's on it?
Well, thank you. What we've done this year is something we've done for a couple of years. It's kind of a more modest tree, not quite a Charlie Brown tree, but a more modest tree that was literally cut from the backyard of one of our members. It's a nice spruce. And then we decided we'd do more natural things. So we have birds and critters, we have hand-knit mittens and things like that, stuffed animals, bears, and a lot of the things under the tree are from different decades, the 40s, the 50s, and so forth.
So there's antique toys here, which I'm sure some people will recognize.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of people have grown up with some of these toys, for sure. Oh, and I should also mention, and if I can find one to point to, we have some very lovely gingerbread men hanging on this tree that were made by a member. She said it took her 2 days to do it.
And the these little ornaments, tell me about those.
Well, these were put together by Joanne Hulbert, who loves all of our history, and I think everyone's familiar with. These are illustrations by Harrison Cady, who is an illustrator for Thornton W. Burgess, who was one of the very first environmental writers for children. He started in the teens, even the early 1800s, late 1800s, and wrote wonderful books for children. I grew up with them. My mother grew up with them. He had a television program. He had a national and international following. He had a national newspaper column. And it was one of the things that got children and others interested in nature and preservation. So these are just some pictures that we've got on the tree from that period, and I think some of them might be for sale in the barn too.
That's wonderful. Well, let's go on to the next room of wonders and talk about some more of these holiday traditions. This table looks like it's all set for a historical Christmas dinner.
Well, we've kind of got a mix. The cups, the gold-lined cups and saucers you see are a Haviland pattern, which is very old, probably 100 years. And we just found out somebody in town worked for the company. And of course, Haviland was a very active china company in the United States for years and years. So we were thrilled to realize there was a connection. So these are very old. The little teacups here and at the other end are more contemporary, from mid to late 20th century. And so it's really set up for a Christmas tea.
Oh, of course, yeah. So are there any other Christmas traditions that you like to tell us about that you know happened in Holliston in a bygone day?
You know, I'm still learning. I've only been in town 35 years, and there's still so much to learn. I think, if you were thinking about Holliston in 1724, when we became a town separate from Sherburne, we were still pretty Calvinist, and I'm going to guess there may not have been as much Christmas celebration as there is now. But as there was more international folks coming in from various parts of Europe, they brought all their traditions with them. Certainly the English and the Germans and the Irish. And so now, of course, we have our full-blown Christmas, which grew in many wonderful ways. Christmas trees, of course, we didn't have until Queen Victoria was doing them, and that was a German tradition. So
The Garden Club also did this lovely centerpiece too, right?
They did, and the mantle, all the mantle decorations in the house. And all the tables that you see with lots of wonderful full things and greens, that's all our garden club partners.
This dress looks like it could have happened right out of Downton Abbey. Tell me about it.
Well, the period is 1930s. We've got 1932 for a year on it. It is from the Addams family here in town. It is silk chiffon with a velveteen trim, and it's one of our favorites to bring out at Christmas because it's such a lovely color.
So it would have been worn for a holiday event, maybe a ball or a tea.
I'm thinking maybe a tea. You could dance in this, I think, but I'm thinking, yes, a house party of some kind. It has what they call a capelet. That's what this little piece is, which can come right off. So,
what would you like us to remember about this event?
well, we just love having any opportunity to share the house and our collections with our town and other visitors, and the holiday time is such a lovely time to do that. We all appreciate the beautiful historic architecture in Holliston. That's one of the things I love about the town, is you've got something from every decade. And we're just one. We're 1812, but we collect from every century.
Lee, it looks so festive in here. Tell me about this.
So this was kind of inspired by another garden club, Bazaar, a couple of years ago that we went to in Cohasset. And I said, there are so many crafters in our club. I think we could do something like that for our big open house in November. COVID, unfortunately, shut us down from the November open house that we usually do. But when the Historical Society asked us if we would once again decorate their home for the holidays, we said yes. And then we found out they were having an open house, so we said, let's ask Victoria, who's the property manager for the historical house, if she thought we could use the barn to sell the items that we had prepared to sell in November. And she wholeheartedly agreed, said it sounded like a great idea, brought it back to the Historical Society, and they said, yes, come on in. So there's 44 members, active members in our garden club, and 18 chose to be on the committee and crafted items for this bazaar. Everything is handmade or done by hand, so there is nothing that was purchased at all. So we're very excited about this. This is a first. If it's successful, we would hope to do it again.
That is a beautiful story, and I hope that you have great success and that everyone enjoys the partnership between the two organizations.
Yes, I totally agree, and I hope we'll be able to continue again.
We hope you've enjoyed this look at Holliston, history, and holidays. For Heartbeat of Holliston, this is Chryso Lawless.